time of the year. It is college football Saturday. Got Pac-12 kicking off today, at least some games. And, of course, we've got a good crew with us today to go over the entire card. Brian Bittler, Chris Ruffalo, Rod Zawacki. And for the first time on this show, Ron Romanelli, one of the young guns in the industry. I think you guys are going to really like him. Anyways, we got a pretty solid card of college football today and a lot of action out there. So, I think this is the most action we've seen out there on the board as far as, bets being made, money being laid down. So that always makes for a fun betting Saturday. We are all over that stuff, and we'll tell you what we're seeing as far as, what the betting action is going as we go through all of this stuff. Everyone here has their own kind of style. Everyone has their own way of doing it. So you're going to get 5 different opinions on these games. The thing that you have to remember, while we're giving picks on every single game on the board, doesn't mean we love every single game on the board and that we love every single one of these picks. It doesn't mean that we're betting every one of these picks. Our best bets always are the ones in the premium area, and no one knows the premium area and likes to talk about it more than our crew that we'll bring in right now. And here we go. We got Brian Bittler, speaking of talking about his premium picks. Got Chris Ruffalo, got Ron Romanelli, Rod Zawacki. Brian, looks like a little puck dog sandwich down there, right? With the Ron in between the Chris and Rod.
Yeah, no, it'll be Oreo stuffing between those two.
I don't know, man. Call me crazy. That's a puck dog sandwich. Brian, number one college handicapper. What do you got going on today?
What don't I got going on today? It's hard to. I try to keep myself to 5 plays, but today was just impossible.
Impossible for me. I went over my limit too.
So what I did was I got an early pack that you can get for my early pack for $50, my late pack for $50, or all 6 plays for $80, or if you're on a long-term plan, 3 days, 7 days, 30 days, you get a bonus pick in there. I have 7 total plays today. Number one, 61% on the season. Check it out.
Crazy bastard. Chris, looks like you are on the road here. What's the good word?
I didn't think you said impossible. I thought you said impossible. I got hungry for some spaghetti or something, but you know what? I got my my college football lunch rush, the 5-pack. We hit it last weekend. I think we're going to hit it again today. I like those plays as well. I got the snack pack in the middle of the day, the 3-pack. We had to replace the Utah game, but we did that as well. And I got my dinner rush 5-pack for the later games tonight. Or I got everything as part of my Stack Saturday package. $49.95 over the website, or like we said, hop on one of those longer term packages. You'll get complete coverage for the weekend, and even the longer ones are going to head into next week. So let's make some money today.
Sounds exciting. This sounds really exciting. Anyways, Ron, what do you got?
Well, it's a great day for college football, and today we have the College Football Saturday 7 special I'm running. You get my 7 best plays of the day for only $29.95. It's about $4 a pick. You can't beat that. 4-1 last week on Halloween. We're trying to build on that and bring you some winners, so why don't you grab the package there?
Yeah, for those of you not familiar with Ron, he's probably the youngest gun in the industry. He's probably the youngest guy out there doing sports handicapping. He's the future of our industry, I gotta say, man. One of those people that makes me feel even dumber than usual. So you guys, it's like, Ron's been writing for us for how long? Have you been writing for us at Sports Chat and Pick Dogs? About a year.
Next month will be a year.
About a year with us, and he's knocked it out of the park. So, we added him as a premium handicapper when we did the multi-capper site. Kind of got in the way of some of his outside things, but now he's focused, he's dialed in, and he's ready to go. And, he was kicking ass and taking names before he had to stop doing it, on the premium basis. And now he kind of picked up right back where he left off. 4-1 last Saturday?
Yep, 4-1 last Saturday.
4-1 last Saturday in college football. So, yeah. It's, I always tell people I'm not going to be sitting here at 70 years old doing the YouTube videos. you could see, the two guys down there in the bottom corner. Those are the guys that are going to more than likely be the ones that you'll be watching, for many, many years to come. But Rod, looks like you lost your hair for your birthday.
I did, yeah. It was getting it was starting to get in the way and drive me absolutely bonkers. So I took the old razor and got rid of it. It's driving me nuts. So today I got the Super Saturday pack. I got my five best bets there. I got 2 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, all in one package. Grab it up. Off of 5 winning days in a row. Go down and make it 6.
As we said yesterday, Ann doesn't do the Saturday show. She has a schedule conflict, so we respect that, and it's like people have a life. I think she does a pretty good job coming on the show. She's doing halftime with me for the primetime games and everything. So tough to force her. And of course, she has her premium picks available today at pickdogs.com and sportschatplace.com. I got 11 picks today, which is way outside of my comfort zone. Yeah, I usually do 3 early, 3 afternoon, 3 late, but those afternoon games, I just really like that afternoon schedule, and I really have to cut down to get there. I mean, there's
the Old Miss used to get 15 sometimes.
Well, there's some square ass plays there in the afternoon. I mean, some major squareage going on. I mean, you gotta say, Brian, those 3:30 games is the square fest, right?
I think the Sharps are going to clean up today.
Yeah, I think.
And also, on a side note, it's usually odd to see USC playing at 12 o'clock.
I think this is one of those days where they remodel the Bellagio. I think this is going to be one of those days. So, hold on tight and don't overdo it, and there's going to be some bounces that don't go your way. We saw last night in that Miami-NC State game. I mean, when the officials want to keep the game tight and they don't want you to change off of the ESPN family of networks, man, to switch over to Fox to watch the other game, you'll see exactly to what lengths they are willing to go to do that. I knew we were going to see a barn burner in that one. I had the over in my premium picks, but I never expected to see that many flags. I don't know what the final penalty numbers were on Miami, but there was a bunch that were declined as well. That were ridiculous penalties. I mean, some of those penalties. I mean, they didn't exist. It's like
I thought their defense though was better than what showed up. I couldn't believe that they gave up so many points.
Yeah, well, when you give teams 7 downs instead of 3 to convert, I mean, these are Division I college football players at an ACC school. It's not like they're not playing Arkansas State or something. This is Division I college athletes at an ACC program. They're going to have, guys that can run. We knew that, going in. It was the over was, that was my premium play was the over. You gave out under on the show. I had to double take you. I couldn't.
Well, I'm terrible on totals.
Well, we know that. We know that, Brian.
I expected a better performance from Miami.
Number one college football handicapper. Number 27 in totals.
I never do a total in my premium area. Never.
Well, I do. I did last night at the over in the Miami-NC State game. It was it was within a touchdown by the half. Anyways, speaking of,
well, yeah, that was my little halftime freebie off the drive-through. First half over 30. Was almost in the first quarter.
Well, we got a lot of games to talk about today, so we're gonna start moving right along.
We can't cry about yesterday too.
No. Today is. We don't look back. We only look forward. We only look forward. I'm just saying that the officiating and the way it was just you got to be super careful out there, and if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Tomorrow looks like another Square Fest, another one too. I mean, tomorrow they took it to a whole new level. It's like you see. Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow. We got USC and Arizona State kicking the day off, which is like Brian said. This is a 9 a.m. start out in LA. I'm gonna guess there are no fans in the stands at the Coliseum. So this could be the biggest stadium. this in Jerry World, right? The biggest stadium with the least amount of fans, type situation setting up. I mean, you could certainly do social distancing at a stadium that size. And we've seen some lame years at USC where they've done some major social distancing in that stadium. But, Brian, Pac-12 kicks it off with a noon Eastern time start. What do you think?
For me, I'm leaning towards USC in this first game. I think they want to get, unlike on previous years, usually USC starts a little bit slow. I think they come out fast, and I think by halftime you see USC up about 14-3, and then they pull away later on.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I was on USC in our video, but over the course of the week, I started to shift towards Arizona State. I just think they're well coached, and Jaden Daniels was good in his freshman year, and I think such an early kickoff, both teams are going to come out a little bit slow, but I think Arizona State's going to be able to keep it close.
Ron Romanelli.
Well, I was looking at this game. I almost put it in the premium area, but I like USC to win this game by 2 touchdowns. I just think Slovis is a really nice quarterback in the Pac-12. I think they start out a little slow, like you said, and that's why it wasn't a premium play. But, I like USC here.
Rod?
I like Arizona State here. Give me Arizona State plus the 10.5 points. I think Jaden Daniels after last year, I think he comes in here and has a big year. I think this is too many points. I think USC might win this, but not by that many.
Yeah, I think I think for me in this one, I got to go with Arizona State as well. I think that Herm Edwards certainly a great motivator. I'm not betting this game, that's for sure. I'm kind of staying away from these Pac-12 games today. There's enough games on the card that we've seen, what's going on with some of these other teams to be able to avoid these Pac-12 games, and I don't think it's as clear cut as the Big Ten games were in their first week, or the Mountain West even. I think these Pac-12 games are some of the who the hell knows with these teams. Anyway, speaking about who the hell knows, Iowa's 0-2 on the season, and Michigan State 1-1. You lose to Rutgers, you beat Michigan. I don't know, man. This is why it's college football, right? You lose at home, you win on the road. This is the world we're living in. This is 2020, right? So, Brian, Iowa -5 against Michigan State.
Normally, I'd probably look to fade Michigan State coming off a big in-state rival win like they had against Michigan. But here, Iowa just doesn't look right to me. And I think it's a field goal game, so I'm going to take the points from Michigan State.
Ruffalo.
Yeah, I liked Michigan State a lot better at 7.5. I still like them at 5, but the lead, I think it's a 3-4 point game as well. I like Michigan State.
Ron.
I'm going to take the over here. Michigan State defense has struggled a bit this season, gave up 38 to Rutgers. Iowa's offense hasn't looked great this season, but I think they break out. Michigan State should put up some points too, so I'll take the over 46.5.
How about you, Rod?
I'm going to take Michigan State. Iowa's got some issues in their locker room with chemistry and people fighting, and they're just not all on the same page. So you figure this would be a big letdown spot for Michigan State? I don't think so. Give me Michigan State plus the 5.
I'm going to go against Ron Romanelli here. I'm going to take the under. I just think that, both these teams love to shoot themselves in the foot. Iowa traditionally slow starters in their games, and Michigan State, who the hell knows what you're going to get, man. It's like, I haven't seen a Michigan State quarterback that, that can play. I mean, Cousins might be okay, but I mean, in general, this is a team that's defense first, and I think that's what they need to establish in this one. Speaking about established, we got Texas and West Virginia. The Horns 5.5 point favorites here against West Virginia, who kind of flying under the radar this season, but playing some pretty solid football at 4-2. Both these teams 4-2. Brian,
I definitely think West Virginia is still flying under the radar here, and I've seen this total move down a couple points with people slamming on the over. To me, West Virginia, one of the better defenses in the Big 12. So, and this is an important game. For me, it's going to be a lean to the under.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm on West Virginia here. I'm putting a little bit on the money line as well. I just think that Texas is going to continue to struggle against that solid defense. They can't keep points off the board either. So I like West Virginia.
A person who never played football does worse in bets. Just saying, I strongly disagree with you. I adamantly I played football in high school and all that other stuff, but I strongly disagree with that statement. You ever hear of a guy named Mike Leach? Look at his resume, okay? Look at his resume. He went to like some kind of small, tiny little school. He didn't play football. He like never even watched football. He was not even a fan of the game, right? Just he was some kind of like he was like some guy in the science lab or something. It's like that is the dumbest statement I've ever heard. It's I hear this one all the time too. Well, I used to play baseball, so I really no, you don't. You would know less. You would know less than someone that actually handicaps the games. You ever see the guys pick on TV that are with the ex-jocks? They stink.
Yeah, those guys are good at announcing games.
Right, they're good at announcing games, but they're lousy at picking. Who's a better picker, like on ESPN? The Bear or the other guys, right? The Bear. And it's like, and I don't say that he's great picker or anything like that. He's not bad. I actually know him from years and years ago. Before he was the Bear. I know him when it was ESPN Kane. He went to Miami.
Oh, cool.
So he used to be in our chat room, in our old chat room back in the 90s. He used to be called ESPN Kane. That's his thing. I was Miami Mitch. Anyways, speaking of Ruffalo, what do you like here?
Yeah, I like West Virginia.
Well, that's pretty in-depth analysis.
He gave it in-depth.
Yeah, I gave
about it, Mitch. He said about why he liked it.
Oh, all right. I glossed. I wasn't paying attention. Ron, give us something we can remember.
Well, I'm definitely not a big fan of this game. I'd stay away from this one. But if I had to pick, I'd take Texas and close my eyes. Obviously, the defense is not good at all. But I think Ellinger wants some revenge. West Virginia hasn't played too well on the road this season, obviously. So I'll take Texas and lay the 5.
Rodzwacki.
This is one of the plays I gave out on the drive-through, and I still like it. Give me West Virginia. This Texas team, if you look at all their games, they try to win these games in a shootout, and that usually just doesn't. That's not going to happen here with this West Virginia D. They're going to slow Texas down. Give me West Virginia, and I also like the under 55.5.
I'm going to go with the under as well. I'm going to agree with Rod. There's a comment here. Waiting for Jeter's picks. We just don't have enough time on this show for Jeter's picks. If Jeter wants to do videos with me, he knows how to get in touch with me, and we can put those videos out there. We could do it the night before or something like that. We just don't have enough time. We don't make kickoff with this show as it is. So slipping in NASCAR picks just isn't working on this, but, we'll get Jeter back on here at some point. And also, you can get Jeter's write-ups, every day at pickdogs.com. He writes up all the rates. How many?
Plus, they can get his premium picks also.
PICKDAWGZ.com. So it'd be 17 keystrokes. We'll get you right there to get Jeter's NASCAR picks. Is it 12 keystrokes? I don't know. Ron?
How many
keystrokes?
13.
Ruffalo, you've been replaced as our statistician.
Oh, damn it.
Congratulations on your position as drive-through host. Co-host.
I just got future endeavored.
It's all right. It's okay. I need a 3-pick. Someone give me a 3-pick.
I need a 10-game parlay. Help me.
Ann is a real capper. Liberty lose big today, -17 for a reason. Mitch will never retire. His ego won't let him. Oh, Mitch, believe me, Mitch will retire. Trust me on that one.
I don't know. Not that your ego's big, but I could see you still with us at like.
Oh yeah, but I have a vision, and it's not me doing YouTube videos at 70 years old. You know,
No.
I have a vid. It's like no one's gonna have to wonder if I died 7 years ago and you guys just prop me up like some of the other guys out there. Because they're betting the number. They're betting the number. It's like they just have that like on a thing. It's like Weekend at Bernie's, right?
That's what I was thinking as soon as he said that. Just prop me up. It's like, what?
Listen, we'll prop you up if we have to.
Michigan against Indiana. This one, the two worst head coaches in college football in my book. Brian?
For me, I think it's a must-win game for both teams here. And, I like the way Indiana's played the first two games of the season. I think this game goes under. I think it's a classic Big Ten game. Slow-moving, 6-3, 9-3 at halftime. Look for it to go under.
Chris?
I'm on Michigan here. And we talked about it in our videos earlier in the week. This is probably the spot where Jim Harbaugh kicks the crap out of the other team instead of the big games where he tends to choke. So I like Michigan here.
Ron, who's a bigger dickhead, Tom Allen or Jim Harbaugh? What do you think?
We'll go Harbaugh.
All right.
For sure.
Who do you like in this one?
I'll take Michigan on the road. I think a little statement win for Michigan would be nice for Harbaugh, so I'll lay the 3.5.
Rod, you agree with Ron on who's the bigger dickhead, Tom Allen or Harbaugh? Because I think Tom Allen is the bigger dickhead, personally.
Well, yeah, but Harbaugh's just a nose picker, so yeah, I think you got to go with Allen here as the bigger dude.
All right.
Hey, you went for that win against Penn State. I mean,
it didn't matter. I mean, even if you don't think Tom Allen's who do you like here, Rod? You froze up. He's frozen. We'll come back to him, but the thing about Jim Harbaugh is he's got this big ego, and then he just goes out there and gets run over in the game. It doesn't come down to a coaching decision. He's already been decisioned, right, in the game. But with Allen, it always comes down to this coaching decision that he just inexplicably, makes these decisions that will, a 3.5 point spread against Michigan, they'll be losing. They'll be down by 5 with like 10 minutes left to go. And they'll be like, 4th and 7, and they'll go for it. And then in other situations, they'll be 4th and 1 with like 2 minutes left, down by 5, and they kick the field goal. It's like it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it's always keeps you outside of the number. Always, man. Michigan's a stone cold lock here for my free picks. Rod, who do you like?
I like Michigan here as well. You look at these two head-to-head over the years, and it's been nothing but beatdown after beatdown.
The talent disparity between these two teams is just it's not even in the same neighborhood. Michigan is going to lose to the good teams, and they're going to lose bad, and they're going to lose to the meaningful games for Michigan fans. Michigan State, they're going to lose Ohio State, they're going to lose the meaningful games. The games like this is where it's like, like the Minnesota game, 65-30, or something, right? It's like we've seen it a million times. The king of the meaningless game, Jim Harbaugh. Speaking about meaningful games, how about that Beehive boot the other night, huh? You see those Rams just like ran right over, grabbed the boot. They acted like they won the Super Bowl, man. I said to my wife, I was like, there's like 15 seconds left to go in the game. I'm like, I put it on the big screen. I'm like, you got to see this. I'm like, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was like, you got to see this. Anyways, ECU and Tulane in the feature game of the early games. Brian, we know you're a big ECU guy. You've backed them a ton here, to the tune of their 3-2 record against the spread, which is super impressive. You wouldn't think that they would be at that number.
I'm seeing a lot of action going in on the over, and we're just not seeing it really budge too much. I know it's not a heavily bet game when you got all these other options out here, but I just don't see it getting over 64 total points. I know Tulane's defense has been pretty
down
hard
to 63.
Too, yeah, for me, it's just too easy to take the over, so I'm going to go $50 on the under.
Chris?
Yeah, I think it is too easy. That's why I am going to take the over. I just think it's you got two teams that don't really play defense, and this is like that Miami game last night. This one could be near the total by halftime, so I'll take the over.
Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Chris on this one. It does seem too easy and too good to be true, but like he said, no defense is played between these two teams, and I think we get the over pretty easily.
How about you, Rod?
And for me, give me the home dog here. Give me East Carolina. They've been looking not too bad the last couple of weeks. I think they hang here. I might even give me East Carolina.
I'll take ECU as well. I can't stand Tulane. Can't stand them. It's personal. I'm not betting the game. It's just a personal statement. I don't like Tulane.
I wrote this one down. I was like, I got to go back and bet this one.
Yeah, I can't stand Tulane. Can't stand them. I mean, how in the hell do you blow that lead against Navy? I'm not ready to forgive you. You know. What the hell was that, man?
I like that one. I had Navy. So.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay. We can go over some of your other great picks.
Auburn, Georgia over Auburn. Was that one? I forget. Who the hell were they playing that week?
I don't know.
Georgia.
Texas A&M laying the points against Arkansas last week. That's for sure. Let's see what we got.
You talked me off of that one, so I escaped that loss.
Georgia State minus 18.5 against Louisiana Monroe. You want to talk about, Tulane ULM would probably be one of the crappier games ever. Or Middle Tennessee ULM. But we got ULM 0-7, 0-3 on the road, 2-5 against the number, 18.5 points against the Panthers.
Boy, if there's a game that I'm going to skip early, this is the one. Definitely have no money invested in this one. But if I had to pick something, I'd probably lean slightly to the under. I just don't see them getting up that high in point totals for either team.
Chris?
Yeah, I think this is a bounce back spot for Georgia State. I'll let Rod, define ULM, but I'll take Georgia State in this one.
Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to take Georgia State here. ULM just been abysmal this season. Covered against Appalachian State, but Georgia State's going to bounce back here. I'm going to take Georgia State.
Yeah, I agree. Give me Georgia State. We're going to be one lopsided game here. I also like the under 59.5 because ULM is definitely not going to do their part. ULM, you lose money. Georgia State.
Line looks a little tricky here. I mean, you see it dropping a little bit with people betting on Georgia State. I mean, it's like 1.5 difference.
I don't show that. It's okay.
I don't know.
It's not a good game.
No,
it is not.
There's too much value out there to be.
Who are the announcers on this one? We should find out who the announcer. Who got this gig?
Poor bastard.
Who's calling this one? Romanelli, get down there. I don't know, man. I'm gonna take Georgia State, but I'm not putting 1 cent of my hard-earned money on that game. There are about a million other places I'd like to be. Duke plus 11.5 against North Carolina. Brian, too bad it's not college hoops yet.
Yeah, this would be an awesome game in college basketball, and this is a game where I'm probably going to go square. I know North Carolina. I just don't see any reason not to take the Tar Heels here. I think they take it to Duke pretty handily.
What about that 0-3 against the spread number on the road for the Heels?
Well, there's always a one. There's always a first, and it's not a game that I'm betting, or I don't have any premiums on it. But North Carolina is just they need to win and do it decisively, unlike Miami yesterday.
How about you, Chris Ruffalo?
Yeah, this is another one I'm not going near, but that 0-3 against the spread on the road does scare me a little bit for UNC, especially in a rivalry game. I'll take a shot with Duke.
Ron Romanelli.
I'm going to take a lean on the under here. Don't see Duke scoring too many here. North Carolina should bounce back. But overall, I'll take the under.
Rod?
I'll take UNC. They're not like Duke at all. But on 0-3, we'll finally get to 1. They cover the number.
I'm on Duke in this one. UNC's a hot mess, man. This is the most overrated crap team in the entire country. I mean, the Florida State game, you think they got lit up in that one? Where do you see this? They're going to get lit up. I mean, way better coach, right, that they're up against in this one. They're going to get lit. ULL against Arkansas State. This is one that I had on my premium list, and I had to take it off because I didn't have room for it. But, man, I'll give my pick first. I love ULL in this game. I love them. And they just I already had 11 premium picks, and this was I could have probably had 20 more. And this was one that I love ULL. Brian,
is that what the LL stands for? Love in ULL.
Well, we could probably make your live picks exclusive to the drive-thru.
Wow. Okay, that was just a joke.
Exclusively on the drive-thru.
For me, there's just too much action on Louisiana Lafayette here. I think if you can get it, if you got in under the 14 total at minus 13.5, you're good. For me in this game, I'm going to go under. I think the good bettors got in on the over here when it was 5 points less, 4 points less, but here there's just no value in the over. So I'm going to lean to the under for a small play.
Have you seen Arkansas State's defense? Chris?
I was going to say, the Arkansas defense is a sieve.
I mean, who's worse at defense, Arkansas State or Western Kentucky? Or Louisville? These are like,
Louisville.
Oh, God, man.
Or Louisiana Monroe.
Oh, well, Monroe at least tries. Monroe just doesn't have the personnel. Yeah. At least they try, man. Like, Webster is pretty good on Monroe. But, like, some of these other these guys, it's the Matador. They don't even, it's like the guy that doesn't run out the ball to first base, like the run to first base on the ground ball. That's these guys on defense.
Give me the over here. I had it 48-27 ULL, so I like the over.
Ron?
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to agree with Brian here. 68's a steep total there. I know Arkansas State's defense is miserable, but I like ULL to win and flex a little bit on defense, so I'll take the under.
How about you, Rod?
I'll take ULL. That Arkansas State D is they're at giving up 40.3 points a game. That's just atrocious. And the last two games, their offense has scored 17 points and 17 points. Raging Cajuns in a blowout.
Yeah, I like the blowout in this one as well. Temple against SMU. I don't know. It's kind of like if we were skipping games on the show, this would be one that we would skip, but I think we're missing an opportunity here. Brian, this looks like a real gem.
Yeah, I think you got a big-time opportunity on the spread here, but as far as the total goes, this is one that I'm going to back the over. I think Temple puts up enough points here in SMU. They're a scoring machine at times, so I think it cruises over the 63.5.
Do you think SMU is in that overrated North Carolina territory? Like, where it's like, they're so overrated, man. It's like...
I'd like to see North Carolina-Miami match up, personally. But SMU, I guess they're slightly overrated.
Well, Miami plays North Carolina, so you're going to get to see it.
I'm going to look forward to that one.
Well, Miami's 6-1, and their one loss is at Clemson with Trevor Lawrence at night, So,
I don't know.
In all fairness,
They left the mark on my ass yesterday.
That's fine, but in all fairness, when you're talking about, like, overrated and all that other stuff, North Carolina went into Tallahassee and got shellacked by Florida State, a team that Miami beat by 50. So I mean,
they had NC State on deck.
Miami is 6-1. They have one loss, and if there's a forgivable loss that any team could take, it's at night at Clemson with 100% of their players. Trevor Lawrence was there, Etienne, and they all had big days, right? But I mean, if there's an excusable loss, you lose at the number one team in the country, a team that's played for the national championship, for the last 5 years. You know, you have one loss, and at the end of the day, you know, it's wins and losses. North Carolina, we're not talking about their 0-3 road against the spread record. We're talking about a team that's 4-2. They haven't even played Clemson. They lost to Florida State, and who else did they get their ass kicked by? I mean,
Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia. I mean, Miami beat Virginia too. I mean, it's like they beat them, they beat them, right? That's how you got there. They beat them, and that's how that's how Arkansas State beats Oklahoma, right? That's how it happens. Who was it? Who beat Kansas State? Was it Arkansas State?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's how Arkansas State beats Oklahoma, just like that. Chris.
Yeah, I liked SMU at 14. I'm not as keen on them at 17.5, but I'll still lay the points with SMU here. I think it's a 3-touchdown game for SMU.
Ron?
Well, I'll take the over 62.5. SMU should put up 40 here and just need Temple to get to 25, 30. So I think they can. I'll take the over.
Rod?
I'll take Temple plus a 17.5. SMU wins this game, but not by that many. That's a 10-point game.
I'm taking Temple on the money line. SMU's a joke, man. And Temple,
yeah, I think Mitch is right here.
Yeah, Temple
it
is
wouldn't shock me if Temple would win outright here.
I wouldn't shock me at all. I think it's highly likely is what it is, and it's because Temple's not as bad as that 1-3 record. They're not.
Nope,
and
they
SMU is like, they're so soft, man. They're just soft. They have some fast players. They have this quarterback, whatever. Yeah, let's see how he does, because Temple, this is what happens at home, right? We've seen this throughout the years at home. With Temple, they have these guys, right? They change their uniform numbers to number 1 through 9, right? And then all of a sudden they have this one home game against a game where they're like 100-point underdogs, and those guys have their Temple career games, and they win outright and they win going away, and it's ugly, and it's just like, whoa, how did I not see that coming a mile away? Because you didn't watch the show, that's why. Anyways, Temple money line. Northwestern, Nebraska. We've got Northwestern 3.5-point favorites in this one. Northwestern undefeated. Nebraska last week, their game was canceled against Wisconsin, but despite getting not covering against Ohio State, there was some calls that went against Nebraska in that game, and also I thought they played pretty well. Brian?
Yeah, for me, it's Nebraska plus the points here. I think you can't take much from getting beat down by Ohio State. Northwestern, fat and happy, 2-0 here. I think Nebraska will want it more. I'm going to take the points. I think it's a field goal game at best. So
Northwestern traditionally plays in a lot of close games, and we saw one last week, 21-20.
Yeah, I like Nebraska a lot as a free play.
Yeah, I'm on Northwestern here. I know they play a lot of close games, but I think this is a 6-point game. I think Northwestern's defense is going to beat Nebraska into submission and take it down late. So I'll take Northwestern.
Yeah, I like Northwestern here. I'm really big on this team. I think they've shown a lot of improvement since last year. I mean, last season they were miserable. Now 2-0, nice road win over Iowa. Nebraska did do some good things in that Ohio State game. I think they moved the ball pretty well considering who they're playing against. But I'm going to take Northwestern and lay the 3.5.
Chris, who'd you take?
Northwestern.
Rod?
I'm going to take the over 53. I think we see enough points here today. Get over the 53.
I'm going to go with the under. I think it's going to be one of those sloppy Northwestern style games in Evanston in November. That's exactly what it's going to be. So someone is saying here that incorrect statement, Penn State coaches by Northwestern. I strongly disagree, man. James Franklin won at Vandy. If you can win at Vandy, man, you're a good coach. It's not like he was given the keys to a stretch limousine like Jim Harbaugh. You know, it's like, I mean, Franklin took over, a Penn State program that was on the rebuild as well. If you can win at Vandy, man, that's. We got the big Indiana fan. That always happens to me. Man. So I learned my lesson on that about 25 years ago. I was in a bar and I was talking to my friend and I said, Clemson's not even a real college. It's just a football team. Guy turns around and he's like, I went to Clemson. True story. I'm like, I don't know anyone that went to Clemson. It's not a real college. It's a football team. It's like UCF, right? It's like Ron lives in Florida. You know anyone that goes to UCF? I mean, it's just a football team, right? It's like it's not even a real school.
A lot of people go there. It's like one of the biggest.
I know, but it's a football.
I haven't met anybody.
Right, but I don't know any of them. It's like I'm from Florida too, and I don't know anyone that the kids. You think their kids would go there or something, right? It's like.
It's like an online school, but everybody just meets up at like a field just to get a football team together.
Dante Culpepper, right? Didn't he go to UCF?
Blake Bortles,
Dante Culpepper. They got some good running backs, man, coming out of there. Speaking of good running backs, my Darrell Henderson pick for Brian's fantasy team paying dividends. I'm sure it does.
I have him on my fantasy team.
Right, I picked him for you. Right?
I also took him last year when he didn't do much for me. So
yeah,
I hold that against you.
I picked him for you, right? He was the Mitch guy, right? Mitch guy. Anyways, Memphis 17-point favorites here against South Florida, which I actually do know people that went to this one. Maybe that's where Culpepper. No, did Culpepper go to South Florida? I don't know, man. South Florida. So South Florida is in Orlando?
Tampa.
In Tampa. And Central Florida is in Orlando.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, Memphis is hosting South Florida. Of course, Memphis, they got lit up last week. Try to bounce back here. This just doesn't look like the same Memphis team we've seen in the past, but South Florida really bad, man. They're just terrible.
South Florida's really bad here, but you don't really see this line moving much off of 17. So for me, I'm going to write this one down. I think it's going to be a small play on Southern Florida. I just don't see them winning this by more than 2 touchdowns.
On that 3-3 against the spread record, are they counting that Cincinnati game as a win against the spread? Because they did not cover. It was a push. Anyways, Chris?
Yeah, I'm on Memphis here. I think this is a rebound spot for Memphis. I think they win this one by at least 20.
Ron?
I'll take a lean on the under. I think Memphis's defense is better than what happened last week against Cincinnati. I think they come back, play a nice game at home, but I like the under, 66.5.
And Rod?
Give me USF here, plus a 17.5. I think they can maybe get it back door here.
I'm taking Memphis. This looks like a spot where you take out some frustration. It's been a little bit of a frustrating season. Here's a game that I think is interesting to a lot of people, and it's had some odd line movement, and the line itself is weird to begin with. Virginia Tech, 16.5-point favorites now. This line went to 17. It's down to 16.5 is what I'm showing it at. Against a Liberty team that really this is their day. to show up. This is their day. They're 6-0. They got a chance to make a statement and say, we belong. You know, this is a chance for Liberty to make a claim and say, hey, man, maybe we belong. Maybe you could throw us in the AAC or something. You know, maybe you could move us up to a bigger, better conference than what we're in. Maybe we're not a BCS conference right away, you know, but how about how about an AAC or something? This is a huge opportunity game for Liberty, and it's kind of, for me, it's money line or VT. Brian, what do you think?
Liberty is my favorite university. I love those guys. But as far as this game goes, I don't think they've played the athletes like Virginia Tech has, and I just don't think it's going to be pretty. I see the small bettors back in Liberty and the bigger guys taking Virginia Tech here. So I'm going to side with the bigger guys, lay the points. I think they win it easily.
I see the same thing, you know, but I also think there's another angle here, Chris.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little bit worried that Liberty's opposition this season is a combined 4-28, but
yeah, because they played Liberty, because they played.
Right? No, I know, but I'm saying I think you know, this is the big game for Liberty, and I think they were hoping that they'd have more of a competition from Syracuse when they had these big high-profile games, but I think Virginia Tech might be their Super Bowl, so yeah, I think Liberty shows up here. Give me Liberty in the points.
Ron.
I think the only way Virginia Tech's going to cover this spread is if it goes over. Liberty's offense has done a really nice job this season. I like Hugh Freeze's team. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, just like Liberty's game last week, and I'll take the over.
Rod?
This is the game I waffled back and forth. It just looks too good to be true. It looks so easy just to take Liberty and be like, yeah, this game will be way closer. But I'm going with Brian. Give me Virginia Tech here. Keep their home. They just play way better at home. I'm going to take Virginia Tech here and say somebody knows something with that line being that big. And they cover. Virginia Tech -7 to 16.5 now.
You know, the money's kind of evening out. You know, it started with big on Virginia Tech and that big inverse line movement, but it's starting to even out at this
on the
number.
Spread, not on the money line.
Right. Well, the money line is 17, and it's 17 points. I mean, the money line is plus 2,200 or something. You know?
The money is about even, but the bets are significantly, I think, for Liberty. So I mean,
not as much as it was. I'm showing about 60-40.
Yeah, I got 60-40 too.
60-40. That's enough for me to say it's.
But
I'm rooting for Liberty. And
it's not like it's 80-20. I think it was, though. You know, it was. This game was 75-25. And the line has come down a half a point. Screw it, man. Liberty money line for me. Whatever. I think this is their Super Bowl. I think Virginia Tech is a team that has been vulnerable under Fuente, and traditionally, go back over the last 10 Virginia Tech seasons, they've lost this game. It hasn't always been Liberty. It's been Citadel. It's been, whoever it was. They've lost this game the last 10 years. Whoever has been in this spot, they've lost this one every single time, outright. Oh, my God, can you believe Virginia Tech lost to Citadel again? It's like, right? It's like, I don't know, man. I understand the line movement in this one. That's why it's not a premium pick and all that other stuff. And it was uglier, the line movement earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And I see, the money line, yeah, of course. Because people put that in their parlays, all these brain surgeons out there. Hey, let's put a minus 2,800 in my parlay, right? It's my lock. It's a lock, man.
I'd be very surprised if Liberty won this game outright, but we'll see. I hope they do.
I would not be surprised at all. I would not be surprised at all.
I would be.
I wouldn't be at all.
I'm just looking at the money that's on the money line, and I see 56% of the bets on Liberty money line and 44% on Virginia Tech. So
Yeah, if you're going to play a crappy high juice money line, Virginia Tech would be the way to go. But
I see more people on Liberty money line than on Virginia Tech.
Yeah, because the money line is minus, it's like because the money line, there's no value at minus 2,800. I mean, there is. I mean, it's like
minus
it only makes sense. I mean, sometimes
yeah, but they're actually paying more now for Liberty money line bets. They opened up at 465, now it's 500, and you got I don't know. It's just they're paying more for people to bet. Hey, come bet the Liberty money line. I don't know.
I will, and you know what, Brian? I will. How about that?
It's just one of those that looks too easy.
It's like they're back there like, well, we know we got Mitch's money on this one. Oh, man. Georgia Southern's taking on Troy. You don't get this one on the big networks talking about this gem.
The Men of Troy. I like that.
Yeah, sounds like something you'd like. This line is inverted. Georgia Southern plus 3.5 here.
Yeah, it just seems I'm not betting this game, but it seems like they're begging you to take Georgia Southern, and I wouldn't fall for it here. If you got to bet the game, you got to go Troy. I think it's minus 3.5 here. I think it's minus 3.5 for a reason. So give me Troy.
Chris?
Yeah, I like how Troy looked last time out, and I think they're starting to pick up steam. So I'll lay the points with Troy on the road here in a game they win by a touchdown.
Ron?
Well, Georgia Southern runs the ball efficiently. I think that's going to take a lot of clock off, and I'll take the under 52.5.
So here's the question. What's your guys' best bets for tonight?
Go to pickdogs.com, premium pick.
I mean, I don't know, man. I guess we don't say it enough. And maybe I should maybe I should get a sign like this, or this and this. Our best bets are in the premium. And how about like one of those hand signs, and I'll just spin it while you guys are talking.
Well, you need like a rolling thing at the bottom of the screen that just says that as it's rolling around.
All right, Ruffalo, you can stay. We'll get you the sign.
Like the guy in the Progressive commercials, the one that's flipping the thing around.
Yeah.
You notice my forearms are getting bigger. Ron, did you give your pick?
Yeah, under.
Under. Rod?
Troy. I don't know. The world's on Georgia Southern here. Give me Troy.
I'll be with the world here. Georgia Southern for me. I don't think the world's on Georgia Southern, is it? Let's see.
Yes.
Let's see. I didn't see this one.
It's hard to say the world because it's not a heavily bet game.
I know.
I would say the bulk of the bettors are taking Georgia Southern.
The county's on Georgia Southern.
It looks like that early money, though, was.
It does, yeah. Like it came in early, like.
Yeah, it was that early money that was on Georgia Southern.
That's a key line though at 3.5. So I really don't want you on Troy.
I'm taking Georgia Southern. I don't care. I've seen Troy play. They stink. You want to lay 3.5 points with that team? Be my guest.
I'm gonna write that down.
Syracuse plus 14.5 against Boston College. Does this go to the ACC auxiliary? Is that how something like this works?
It's on the Fox Sports Network, actually.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
I have it on my phone.
Matt Saras said that?
That's what it says on my Scores app.
All right. Who do you like?
Syracuse is putrid. They got beat down by Wake Forest at home, but I had to bet the game, and I'm getting 14.5. I go with Syracuse here. Too many points on the road, Boston College.
Chris?
I think Boston College barely covers this. I think it's 38-21. So I'll go Boston College.
Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to take Boston College here. Just an off year, rebuilding year for Syracuse. They haven't really showed much. Boston College obviously competed in that game last week against Clemson, but no Lawrence. But still, I think Boston College gets the job done with a 3-touchdown win here.
Rod?
Yeah, Boston College. I think they win by 3 touchdowns as well.
I love this one. That's for sure. I guess I'll go with BC just to be part of the club. I don't know, man. I really don't like
Come on, just join the dark side with me, Mitch. I can see Syracuse. They could win outright.
I could see it happening. I mean, Boston College didn't they struggle with Texas State? It's like you know what? I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go Syracuse with Brian. What the hell?
There you go.
See, it can happen.
Me and Mitch agree.
It didn't take much. It didn't take much. I got no push from the other guys. So.
I think me and Mitch though have a lot of the same premiums today.
Well, this didn't take much. You know, well, I think we have the same premiums today because I think it is a really, really cutthroat, sharp day. I just think that we're at that time of the year, you know, where you get into that November and it's just like, whoa.
You'll hear the guys talking.
You'll hear
not us guys, but the guys in the forum saying, "Oh man, I got killed.
I got killed today, like last week." It was like, you know, because all of a sudden conference play and it's like people start getting their rug swept out from under them. It's like it's cutthroat in conference play. You can't be afraid to take the not obvious. Speaking about the not obvious, Marshall minus 44 against UMass. I think Ann gave this one out yesterday. Should we just defer to Ann on this one?
Yeah.
What was Ann's pick in this one?
Who do you think?
I don't know. I would lay the points at Marshall here. I know it's a ton of points. It's just I don't think they're a team that's going to hold back beating a team's into the ground, and I don't think UMass can offer much resistance. So if I had to bet the game, I'd take Marshall.
It's not their MO. Chris?
I don't think you can set this total high enough. I think this spread high enough. I think Marshall wins this one by 50.
Ron?
Yeah, I don't think UMass scores in this game. Marshall's defense is one of the best, only 9.4 points allowed per game. UMass is going to get crushed. You know, if you're gonna bet this game, you got to take Marshall.
Ron Romanelli's swinging around the big data. Rod.
Yeah, give me Marshall here.
All right, it's going to be a consensus.
Who would win a UMass against Akron game?
Nobody.
We're all losers in that one.
I go with the Zips would be -7, I think.
We're all losers.
On the scoreboard?
No, they'd be a -7 favorite, I think, Akron against UMass. Just throwing out a dream matchup that I have there.
One note you took before bed, if that's going to be your dream matchup.
Tom Brady. Mitch, why didn't you approve my entry into the Facebook group? There's only 2 reasons why people don't get accepted into the Facebook group. Number 1, you don't have a real profile picture and a real profile, like where we can. Everyone in our Facebook group is transparent. I am, you know, everybody is. Like you can go on my Facebook profile and you can see, you know, who all my friends are. You can see everything that I've said. That doesn't mean you can comment and do all those other things, but I don't block your access to it. I'm a real person, and believe me, there's no one in our Facebook group I think that has more exposure to the people than I do, right? I mean, I'm out there. I put myself out there. And if you're not willing to put yourself out there, then we don't want you as part of our group, because everybody else in our group is transparent, real people, and, you know, has nothing to hide. That's for sure. So if you have something to hide, we don't want you in the group. Also, if you're part of like a handicapper or, you know, something.
If your initials is CT, you might not be allowed.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you're a handicapper, if you have like a handicapping thing, you know, or whatever, and you don't think, well, good luck with it, but I'm not going to let you come in our group and spam it. My group isn't to advertise for you guys. Our group, you know, have your own group and do your own thing. You know, we're not going to have you in my group so you can spam it. And also, if you've been blocked from any of my other groups, I'm not going to let you in this group because you were blocked for a reason. So that's why you wouldn't be allowed in our Facebook group. People with balls only. Speaking of balls, Bittler, Oklahoma versus Kansas. Man, this is normally one where I say 38 points looks really, really good to me, and then you kind of look at it again and you say, well, maybe this is the game where Oklahoma kind of says, we're the big badasses, and we had a bad year. Let's take it out on Kansas. You think Les Miles is already in trouble in Kansas, or do you think he needs, they give him a couple recruiting classes?
I think they give him a couple of recruiting classes. How often does Kansas get a coach like Les Miles to come to Kansas?
They had Glenn Mason, and they had, what was the guy?
They had the guy from
Mangino.
Notre Dame, big chubby guy.
Mangino. One of my favorite things I've ever seen was they did the Mark Mangino as a Macy's Thanksgiving Day balloon bit. That was hilarious, man. The Oklahoma fans did that. I thought it was pretty funny.
I hate to be a McDonald's fish fillet, but in this game, I'm gonna have to be square and go with Oklahoma. I don't think they're shy about beating a team 72-0, and I could see them easily doing it here. So, me Oklahoma, I'll lay the points.
Chris,
I think Rod's ears perked up when he heard fish fillet.
It's a square fish.
I like Oklahoma as well. I think this one's over by halftime. I think it's 63-0.
Ron?
Yeah, I agree with the guys. I got to take Oklahoma here. Kansas is abysmal.
Rod?
I like Oklahoma.
Rod?
Yeah, I think you got to take Oklahoma here. Give me Oklahoma.
One of my favorite expressions from when I was a kid, Barry Switzer got off the plane in Miami. They asked him the game plan. Going to hang a half 100 on him by halftime, and then I'm going to put the scrubs in. I think that's.
Do you think they take out their Kansas State loss on Kansas here maybe today? I don't know.
Well, I don't think it. I think that they just take it out on Kansas. Oklahoma, this is the thing traditionally about Oklahoma, is they'll have these run up the score games, and they're shameless about it. They'll act like they're playing the 78 Steelers.
Penn State used to do that stuff too. They play like Akron and score 70 against them. Act like they're winning the Super Bowl.
We've got. I'm trying to do customer service at the same time.
Need an assistant. I think Al Ninos would make a great assistant. Handle customer service. This
is a very common question that I got from this one. He's saying that he got a 3-day trial, which we don't have a 3-day trial, but he said he got a 3-day trial and received any premium picks. Is there something going on? And the answer is we don't send out picks. You need to log in under the My Picks tab.
Yeah, we don't have any trials or coupon codes.
Yeah. You could have coupon codes, Bitler, just for Brian's picks.
Coupon code win
20% off. We're overpriced to begin with. It's like I don't understand it. Why don't you just price it right, man? It's like
coupon code trick or treat.
Coupon code. We didn't get our pricing right, apparently. I mean, how hard is this? It's like, I don't know, man. I have zero retail experience. Texas State's playing App State. I would have liked to have had this as a premium pick. I don't, but I certainly would have liked to have App State in there just because it's personal. I don't like Texas State. We saw a lot of Texas State this year. More than I care to ever see again. And it's because there was that slow start to the season, where conferences, they started slow, so we had to watch Texas State. And I'm bitter, man. I'm bitter. I as a college football fan, I don't want to see that. Brian?
For me, I can't go fish fillet in 2 straight games here. I can't lay all these points with Appalachian State. I love them, but I think Texas State gets a backdoor cover here, maybe a kick return at the last second. I'll take the points with Texas State Bobcats.
Yeah, App has been terrible on the road against the number. We saw it last week. They don't get the calls, that's for sure. They have not been getting the calls, the officiating on the road, man. That play last week where the quarterback put the ball down on the ground, the guy from the other team picked up the ball and ran it towards the end zone, and the time and a half expired on the 2-yard line. I mean, what is that? You never see that. Chris?
In Texas State, they hung around with SMU and Boston College, but I think I think App State puts a hurting on them here. I think it's 38-7, so I'll go App State laying the points.
I like App State money line against either of those teams that you mentioned. Ron?
I'm going to take Texas State in the points. Just
to stick it to me. It's okay. I'm going to stick it to Mitch on this
just
one.
because Mitch said it. That's why I'm taking Texas State. No, I think I'll score enough to keep it close.
Yeah,
I gotta admit, I did it too.
it's okay. It's okay. We can go with 4 next Saturday. Rod?
I like Ronald.
Now I don't want to talk. It's like, I got to go Texas State here as well. I think, as you would say, the shop's bad now, and it's way past, long gone. It's now at minus 21.5.
21. There's 21s.
Minus 21. Yeah, there's some 21s out there too. Yeah, but I think it's gone too far against an App State team who was 1 for ATS. Texas State for me.
Yeah, I'm all over App State, like white on rice. I can't stand Texas State. I don't even like the idea of Texas State. I don't like the color of the uniforms. I don't like the uniforms. I don't like the players.
Can't bet on like and dislike. You have to.
I don't care. Yes,
the
I
number.
can.
You got to bet the number.
I don't care. I'm at that point of the season, and the schedule's big enough that I can take a team on spite alone. What's your reasoning on this one? 100% spite. Mississippi State's taking on Vandy. Brian, this looks like a real gem.
Oh,
this is kind of like this is an SEC version of the Oklahoma Kansas game.
For me, I'm gonna, even though this number has dropped about 3 points almost on the total, I'm gonna go with the under here. Mississippi State's defense got to get better, and Vandy, I don't see him putting up many points. Give me the under here, under 45.5.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm on the under as well. I don't see this being a high-scoring game. I'll take the under.
Ron?
I'll take Mississippi State and I'll lay the points. I think Mike Leach gets a statement win here at home.
Rod?
Yeah, I agree. Mississippi State wins by 3 touchdowns. They finally get a win.
I'm gonna take Mississippi State. I'm gonna take the over too. I think Mississippi State gets the over by themselves in this game.
Let's hope.
No, they do. They do. they do. Did you see the South Carolina Vandy game?
Yeah. Hey, I'm not arguing Mississippi State's talent.
That one was at Vandy. Okay. Mississippi State has fans in the stands. They got the cowbells ringing. Speaking about fans, Cincinnati minus 13 points against Houston. Man, I really like Cincinnati, but wow, is there a lot of people on this, and that is just a little too. I feel like maybe that Romanelli sandwich down there between the puck dogs. He's kind of in the middle seat on the airplane. Can you imagine that row?
I think this is sharp versus squares in this one for sure, because the money's about equal, but the bets are way off. Huge small bettors are on Cincinnati and Houston. I've been burned by them this season. This is a team that's gotten me, but I can't resist them at 13.5, 13. I think they keep it within a touchdown with Cincinnati.
It's like the line from Scarface. It's like, there's nothing they can do to me that Castro is not already done. It's like, Houston's burned me so many times. There's no way they can burn me worse than they've already burned me.
Like the Jets.
I kind of see where you're coming from there. Because, I mean, it's just so many people in Cincinnati. Chris?
And unfortunately, I'm one of them. I think this is a Cincinnati. You know, they've already flattened 2 really good offenses in SMU and Memphis, and I think they do it here to Houston as well.
Ron?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I like Cincinnati here. Definitely the team to beat in the American. I think they win by 2 touchdowns at least, and that'll get the cover.
Rod?
I like Cincinnati as well. Houston may look like they hang around a little bit, and then comes near the end of the game, and they just go, here we go, and they just implode.
I was
thanks.
I was
I think
early.
Cincinnati.
I was early on the Cincinnati bandwagon, and now I'm going to be early getting off. I think I liked Cincinnati in this one. I've liked Cincinnati all season. I liked them at 10.5. I do not like them at 13. I think Cincinnati wins this game. I think the penalties get to them, and I don't think they cover. I think that's what's going to happen because too many people are on them. It's like I like them when they're the unpopular opinion, like against SMU, right? But it's like when they're this much, right? It's too much love.
You can see him up 17, last drive of the game. Houston gets the ball and just goes down.
I can't
the field.
see that. I can see this one being more of a struggle all the way. Cincinnati's not a team that's going to lay down. They don't do that. They don't lay down and go into zone. This is a team that knocks your head off in those situations. Is what they've been doing. They've been in that situation a bunch of times this year, and what they've done is they've decapitated the other team's receivers when they try and go over the middle, which is normally wide open at the end of the game because, they figure, well, the clock's going to run, right? We let them catch the ball in the middle of the field, we tackle them, and the clock's going to continue to run. But Cincinnati, what they've been doing is decapitating those receivers when they come over the middle late in the game. I think it's going to be a lot tighter all the way. I think Houston might have the lead. And I think Cincinnati's going to run on them in the second half is what's going to happen. Florida, Georgia, the cocktail party. Ron Romanelli probably knows a couple people that are probably not too happy. What's the deal with the cocktail party this year? Are they not having fans in the stands? They are having limited numbers. How are they doing it?
I'm not sure. I haven't really heard anything about it. I know they're doing a ticket lottery for the home games, but I think they did a separate ticket lottery for this one. So I think there's going to be a few fans, but I think tailgates might not be allowed on the premises. I'm not sure.
Just not the same as it always was. This one, of course, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Georgia versus Florida. They hold this. The stadium is supposedly, exactly the same distance from each of the schools. And this is the one where you see the pictures of the games and there's a line drawn straight down red and blue. This is the one, This is the one that I grew up watching. Georgia, Florida. Bulldogs 3-point favorites in this one. We've seen a lot of line movement in this one towards the Gators, most of it. Of course, I don't know, man. I can't stand Mullen. I just can't stand him. Never liked him. Brian, dogs and Gators.
Tells you that the Florida Gators are the play here, but even more than that, I kind of like the over. I think we see a lot of scoring back and forth, and no reason they shouldn't be able to get over 54.5. So give me the over.
Chris?
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one, but I'm still going to stick with Florida. I rewatched that Georgia-Kentucky game, and I didn't like how Stetson Bennett looked. And I just think Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts are going to connect here again. And I like Florida to get the job done here, so I'll take Florida in the points.
Well, Ron's got a little pressure on him here. What do you like?
Well, I may get some crap back home, but I'm going to take Georgia. I'm going to lay the points.
Wow.
And it's a big statement for me. Florida's defense is just not where it needs to be. Nice game against Missouri last week, but I just think Georgia is the better team. I just don't trust the Florida defense this season.
As big of a rivalry as this is, these games are rarely close. Rod?
For me, I'm going to take Florida to win this game outright. There's some injuries here on this Georgia team on defense, and I think that's the issue right there. And Florida takes advantage of it. Give me Florida outright over Georgia.
I love Georgia here by 3 touchdowns going away. I think that they absolutely slaughter Florida in this game. The talent disparity is night and day. Kirby Smart has had the #1 recruiting class in the country the last 4 years in a row. So depth is a non-issue at Georgia. The biggest problem that Georgia has is the players leaving early and hitting the transfer portal because the competition for playing time is so stiff at Georgia. These players that are going to get a chance to be on the field for the cocktail party, man, you expect them to leave it all out on the field. Georgia in a romp, 35-10 range, maybe more. Brian, we got the Illinois versus Minnesota game in the Big Ten. Who do you like?
total went from 60.5 to 64. It sits now. I think the guys that bet the over got in at the right time, but now I think the move is the under. I think you see an improved defense from Minnesota, and Illinois has its problem scoring. So give me the under here.
Be sure to hit the like button, everyone. There, I said it. I always forget to say that. Be sure to smash the like button. Costs you nothing, takes you half a second, helps us a ton. How does it help us? YouTube promotes the channels and videos that get the likes. Chris.
Yeah, I like Illinois, and they have potential to win this one outright. Minnesota, it's hard to believe that this could be this team that, you know, has more losses than they did all season and through 3 weeks. So, but I just don't like Minnesota right now. I'll take Illinois in the points.
Ron.
I'm not ready to give up on this Minnesota team quite yet. I think they win this game by double digits, so I'll take Minnesota and lay the 7.
Rod.
I'll agree with Brian. I like the under here. Give me the under 64.
I like Illinois. Got a premium pick on it. Anyways, got UNLV against Fresno State. Brian?
Boy, in this one, we've seen what the Mountain West Conference has been this year. 1 week a team looks good like Wyoming, or they look bad, then they look good, then they look bad. So Fresno State's look bad, look good. So UNLV's really due at 0-2. For me, there's going to be a bunch of scoring here, and I see it going easily over the total of 57.5.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to take Fresno State, laying the points. I just do not like UNLV at all, so give me
Ron?
Fresno.
I'm going to take UNLV and the points here. I just think the home team, they've had 2 tough games, San Diego State and Nevada, so I just like UNLV to bounce back and lose this game but cover the number.
Rod?
I like the over. I think we're going to see a whole lot of scoring here. Give me the over 57.5.
Everyone knows what I hate the most. Teams that refuse to tackle, teams that run away from guys with a football in their hand, and Fresno State's really good at that. I'm going to take UNLV on the money line. I agree with Ron Romanelli, exactly what he said. Look at the level of competition that UNLV has played, you know. They played the 2 best teams, well, 2 of the better teams, you know, Nevada and San Diego State, 2 heavy hitters in the Mountain West. Fresno got beat by Hawaii, you know, who lost to Wyoming, who lost to Colorado State. So imagine what Colorado State would do to them. Anyways.
Well, let me jump in here quick, Rich. I don't want to jump on I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to give it out. UNLV premium here. Play them on the points. Play them on the money line.
Yeah.
Love a UNLV today.
Love
Take
them.
the Rebels.
Love them. This was another one that was on my premium list. This was one of the last one. This was the last one that got cut off my premiums. It was UNLV. So Penn State up against Maryland. Well, Maryland beat Minnesota at home. Lost to I think this is a trophy game, but Penn, I forget what trophy it is, but I believe this is a trophy game. We'll have to look it up. Anyways, Penn State 27-point favorites. This line has just continued to go up and up and up. I guess people went back and watched the film of the Northwestern Maryland game to see what Maryland looks like on the road this season. And, you know, we hear this all the time in the forums and the Facebook group and in the thing. They're going to be really mad. Yeah, I don't care if they're mad or not, you know. Penn State is probably pretty mad. Brian, what do you think?
I think Penn State's probably pretty mad. I mean, I don't have any problem seeing Penn State winning this game by 4 touchdowns. It's not a game I'm running to the window to bet, but if I got it, I'm going to lay the points here at Penn State. I think they get a convincing 35-point win.
Yeah, I agree. I think James Franklin's coached his guys up this week, and I don't see Penn State going to 0-3 here. I see them covering, winning this one by at least 30. So give me Penn State.
Ron?
Yeah, I think Maryland, their win last week, I think was a fluke. I like Penn State to roll here.
Yeah, give me Penn State. They usually win by 4 touchdowns here.
Here's a fun statistic for you. So this is a rivalry game, and these teams play all the time, even before Maryland was in the Big Ten and Penn State was in the Big Ten. Penn State is 42-1 against Maryland, including a 24-game winning streak. Yeah. Not good, but it's considered a rivalry. It's a territorial dispute is what this is. That's the historical context, and that's why these teams have played so many times. But, yeah, Maryland just generally doesn't hold up well in this one. I think this was the one last year where Penn State went to Maryland, beat them 70, right? And it was put Maryland in that whole tailspin. All right, here's a good one. Here's one that was on my list. It wasn't the final cut down game, but it was in the last 4 or 5 that got cut down off my list. And this game is TCU -10 against Texas Tech. Brian?
For me, I could see a bunch of typical Texas Tech game. I think scoring comes in bunches here, and I think it easily goes over 60.5 here. So I'll take the over.
Yeah, I agree with Brian again. I like the over in this one. I can see this one hitting 63 at least, so I'll take the over.
Yeah, I like the over too. I think Texas Tech's going to put up a fight, and that should mean the over hits pretty easily.
Rod?
Give me Texas Tech plus the points here. I think they keep it closer than just 9.5.
I'm going with Texas Tech too. This almost made a premium pick for me. Came very, very close to being a premium pick. Kansas State against Oklahoma State. This line has gone haywire and opened at 9.5. It is up to 14. Kansas State, this is a team that's as inconsistent as it gets. Oklahoma, Mike Gundy teams traditionally all over the map. I don't know. Brian, KSU and OSU.
Total opened up at 51 points. It's now down to about 48 with the public all over the over, from what I can tell. For me, I think you see an Oklahoma State defense come to play today, and I think it goes easily under 48.
Chris?
And I've struggled with this game all week. I'll go with Kansas State at home. It's a lean, but I'll go with Kansas State.
Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to take Kansas State in the points. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'd lean to the under, but I think Kansas State covers.
Rod?
I like the under as well. Give me under 48. I think we've got to run them, grind them out. Low-scoring game.
I like the over in this one. I think we're going to see, sort of like last night's game, a lot of long scoring plays. Of 40 yards or more, 50-yard range. I think you have two teams that traditionally have deficiencies and give up plays like that.
The line doesn't scare you at all on that total?
Not one bit. I think this is a Big 12 game, and those things generally go to the high 70s.
Big 12 is going. I mean, they've improved their defense. Some of these teams. I mean, West Virginia, and all right.
I think maybe some of the offenses aren't as good as they were.
That's true.
I think
we'll see.
I think Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray and some of these other guys are gone, and Texas doesn't seem to have the speed on the outside that they've had in the past. I don't know. Florida State and Pitt.
For me, I think it's a coin flip game, but I had to bet the game, I'd probably take Florida State. I know they've looked. They're a team that's burned me many times over the years, but I just I like the number here. I see it at -1.5 here. Florida State minus points.
Chris?
Yeah, it looks like Kenny Pickett's out for Pitt, so I'm gonna lean towards Florida State here. I think they win by a field goal.
Ron?
Yeah, this is what I like to call the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I wrote down Pitt. Now I'm on Florida State, so I'll lean Florida State.
Rod?
Give me the over 52.
I'll go with the under. I think both these teams have the ability to shoot themselves in the foot all day long. That's why that's why Ron's leaning back and forth, because it's like, who's going to beat themselves the least? Speaking about teams that love to beat themselves, we got Western Kentucky up next, visiting Boca. It's a beautiful day in Boca. Florida Atlantic hosting Western Kentucky. Chris? Oh, Brian?
Western Kentucky 0-6-1 against the spread. I mean, they're due for a cover here, but I don't know if this is going to be the week. I'm going to lean towards Florida Atlantic here minus the points. I can't get behind Western Kentucky.
Chris?
Yeah, I'll take the under. I know 38.5 is tiny, but this feels like a 21-10 game, so give me the under.
Ron?
Yeah, I was big on Western Kentucky heading into the season. I don't think I've ever been more wrong in my life. Western Kentucky, I don't see them scoring double digits. I'll take the under. It's low for a reason.
I'll take FAU in the house. Win by a touchdown.
I think you guys might be onto something with that under. I like the way that looks.
I'm going to go Florida Atlantic. I just hate teams that can't tackle. I say the same thing every week. I'm like a broken record on that one. We got Colorado up against UCLA. Speaking about things I hate. Brian, UCLA is 6-point favorites, or 5-point favorites now on the road.
Yeah, I'm not willing to lay those kind of points to UCLA on the road. I mean, this is a program that's underachieved year after year, and I think this is a field goal game any way you slice it. So I'll take the points of Colorado and wouldn't shock me if they won outright.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Colorado with the points. I think they can win it outright as well. I just think that UCLA's lost too much talent. They've lost a ton of defense, and all they really have is that quarterback. And I'm not a Chip Kelly guy, so I'll take Colorado on the points.
Ron?
Well, when you look at these first game of the year type of games, you got to look at the depth chart, and I saw on both teams a lot of underclassmen in the offensive line. I think we're going to see a lot of sacks, a lot of tackle for losses, and that's going to chew the clock. I'll take the under.
Rod?
I'll take Colorado plus the points.
Yeah, I think addition by subtraction, Montez is gone. I'm taking Colorado. Iowa State versus Baylor, Brian. Another Big 12 matchup. Another big line.
Yeah, for me in this one, I think I had spoke earlier, I like Iowa State's defense. They've had some iffy games this year, but for the most part, in this one, if I'm going to bet the game, I'm going to lean towards the under. I don't see it getting over 47.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Baylor in the points. It just feels like a lot, even with a Baylor team that's having a down year. I'll take the Bears in the points.
Ron?
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I'll take Baylor in the points. I think they keep it close on the road.
Rod?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Baylor as well. Give me Baylor on the points.
I'm going to take ISU. I just think
probably
that
a touchdown game.
I like ISU here. I just think that Baylor's just a lot worse than we even thought they were going to be. I mean, it's just, I expected bigger things out of Baylor, returning quarterback and all that stuff, and it's like, just haven't held up. It's like I really didn't like the way they looked against Texas, to be honest with you. I'm gonna hold that against them. We got South Carolina up against Texas A&M. This one in Columbia. Brian?
Oh, I think I'm going to go with Texas A&M here. Lines going up. People liking South Carolina on the other side. It's not a game I'm going to be betting more than $50, but give me the Aggies here. I think they win it by 10.
If I'm betting $50, I'm not betting football games. That's for sure. I'll put that on, I don't know, on the roulette wheel or something. Chris? And just, it doesn't matter. It's like whatever anyone bets on a game, whether you bet $5, whether you bet, 5,000, or it really doesn't matter. It's, it's all relative. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to take South Carolina. I think they're playing a lot of close games lately. I think they're due for another close game, possibly even an outright win. I'm not fond of Texas A&M. I'll take the Gamecocks.
Ron?
Yep, I'm going to take South Carolina. I think their offense is going to do enough to catch a cover here. 10 points is a lot at home, so I'll take South Carolina.
I absolutely played high school football. I could show you pictures. Believe me, I absolutely played.
Mitch wore the leather helmet.
No, I didn't wear the leather helmet, but I absolutely played. What'd you take, Ron? South Carolina?
Yep, South Carolina.
Rod?
Yeah, give me South Carolina here as well. That's too many points.
I'm on South Carolina as well. I just think Jimbo Fisher is a guy I like to bet against. I like Spiller though. I think he's a pretty exciting running back. I think he's got a very, very good future if you're a fantasy football player, which I'm not. That's a guy you want to circle for next year for your fantasy football. We've got Oregon versus Stanford. Oregon 10-point favorites in this one. This line's been all over the map.
For me, I'm going to lay the points with Oregon here. I think they come out and get a convincing statement win against a team they don't really like too much in Stanford. I'll take the Ducks.
Yeah, I'm on Oregon as well. I think this Ducks team is really well coached under Mario Cristobal, and I just think Stanford cost me a lot last year. They burned me a lot of times, so I like the Ducks here by at least 2 touchdowns.
Ron?
Yeah, I agree. I like Oregon. I'll lay the points. I think they win by 2 touchdowns. Exactly.
Rod?
I'm going to take the under 51.5. I think first game, I think it's going to take a bit for Oregon to gel and get things going before they start. I think they blow them out second half, but give me the under. It'll be a slow start.
I like Oregon a lot in this one. Got Notre Dame up against Clemson. I like them as much as you can like a team, that hasn't played yet this season. I like Oregon a lot in that one. Notre Dame plus 5.5 against Clemson. Brian?
Clemson's got the better athletes here, but this isn't a game I'm rushing to bet. I like the Irish at home. It means everything for them. I think they keep it within a field goal. It's a big game. I'm going to go with Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm still going to lay the points with Clemson. I just think that, you don't become even with Lawrence out, you don't become the backup on the best team in the country if you don't have anything going for you. So I think you still got Etienne, you got the receivers, and you got that defense. I like Clemson winning by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree. I like Clemson here on the road. This is not a game I'd bet. This is a game I'd watch. It's going to be a good one. Even without Lawrence, I think the talent level on defense and offense is just too much for Notre Dame to take on. So I'll take Clemson.
Rod?
I'll take Notre Dame on the money line here. I think they got a shot to outright beat Clemson here today.
I like Clemson by about 150 in this one. I think it's not. I mean, we've seen Notre Dame against teams that are, just totally so much better than them, and they never hold up. Never. The only time they do at home, generally have a little bit better performances than they do in the college football playoff where they lost to Clemson. What was it, 635-3 or something like that? And the game at Miami a couple of years ago when they played against a ranked team. But Notre Dame, I mean, this is a team that beat Louisville 12-7. You score 12 points against Louisville, you are dead, re-dead, and dead again in this one. This is the alternative line. If you're taking Clemson, just whatever. This is one where Herb Street, like in the second half, is just looking for material. It's actually on NBC, right? So it's going to be even worse. It's going to be even worse. It's going to be real bad.
I think Rod's on to something.
I think you guys are nuts, man.
The under might be a good play, too.
No chance. Clemson's going to score on every freaking play, man. It's like Notre Dame's. They do not have the athletes to go with Clemson. They don't have the athletes. They never have. Look at Notre Dame's last 20 games. Look at Brian Kelly's career record against teams ranked in the top 5. Look at his career record against teams ranked in the top 5. Go all the way back to Cincinnati when they played the Gators in the Sugar. Yeah, housed. I mean, it's 75-0, right? Tim Tebow's last game at Florida. It was like, you want to talk about a bad day. It's like, not only are you guys have to play the Gators in the Sugar Bowl. It's Tim Tebow's last college game. It's like, just horrific. Then they decide, right, we'll go to Miami. We'll make you a favorite in the initial year of the turnover chain. Same quarterback that they got now, right? Same guy. It's like Miami's got the turnover chain. What did they were just swinging it around. It's like they couldn't even put it away because it was just out the whole time. And that's what's going to happen here. It's going to be.
I think they've had this circled all since the schedule came out.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. The talent disparity is just apples and oranges. It's a blowout.
I think it's a field goal game.
Yeah. 28 field goals to 0, and it's going to be bad. What was the score the last time they played last year? Was it last year or 2 years ago?
A couple years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago or something. Let's see what it was. I know it was like 68-0. Let's see. It was.
It wasn't 68-0. I didn't see it.
It's like fine. It was 67-0.
No. It was 30-3 in that one. So.
I think you're a closet Clemson fan. I think that's a problem.
30. It was 30-3, and I can honestly tell you, the game wasn't even that close. The game was not even that close. It was a shellacking, and I don't see how this one isn't either. It's like it's going to be a shellacking. Dabo Swinney.
They should have shot a couple.
I think Dabo Swinney kind of gets people get the wrong message about this guy. He's an ass kicker from start to finish. He's coaching till the final second. This is not a take a knee team. They punched it in. The last game they punched it in, right, with the backup quarterback. Like 16 seconds, ass slapping, acting like they just won the national championship. Dabo Swinney plays everybody on the roster. So it's kind of like the old Jimmy Johnson teams. If you show up for practice, you're going to play in the games, whether you're the high school All-American, which they got a ton of them, or whether you're a walk-on, like Kirk Herbstreit's kids play on that team, and they play. They're walk-ons.
Boston College almost took them out last week.
They'll crush them. Take it to the bank. Don't be sucked in. Anyways, Rutgers, Ohio State.
I think Ohio State kicks Rutgers' butts today. I like Schiano, the coach of Rutgers, and I backed him week 1, but I just think Ohio State's on a mission here to put up as many points as they can every week. So I'll take the Buckeyes, lay the points.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the points with Ohio State too. I was on Rutgers earlier in the week, but I just think there's too much going for Ohio State here.
Yeah, I'm going to take the points with Rutgers. I just think they score enough to keep it closer, but Ohio State's going to roll, but I think they make it a backdoor cover here.
We both wrong. Give me Rutgers plus 39 points. I think Ohio wins this game, but not by that many.
I think I'm with you guys on Rutgers. I've gone back and forth on this game. I have. I could see if it's a blowout for Ohio State, I'm not surprised. If Rutgers somehow keeps it close, like Schiano frustrates them with some defensive strategy, I'm not surprised. So it's one of those games. So getting that many points, take a shot. I mean, I'm not betting that thing.
It's a Brian special. $50 on Rutgers.
Yeah, I'll put $50 of Bittler's money on Rutgers. I'll take my $50 and get a couple lobster tails or something. We'll take Arkansas here +1 against Tennessee. This line has kind of moved back and forth, right? I still don't understand the reasoning on Notre Dame. I would love to hear you guys and hear how you get there. I just don't see it.
They struggled a little bit last week. I mean, Clemson didn't look like butt kickers last week. They almost lost that game outright.
What was the score?
34-28, Clemson, I believe.
Final?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, and it took them a complete butt whooping in the second half to get there. So.
But you forgive Notre Dame on the 12-7 Louisville game. I mean, Louisville, who's given up 70 points a game
at full strength.
At full strength, you forgive them for that. That's where I'm lost.
I just like Notre Dame today. I don't know.
All right, Arkansas, Tennessee.
I had Tennessee written down early in the week, and now it's just a lean. I just worry about the way this line looks. And I think the Volunteers have more talent than Arkansas, but Arkansas has played the better season. So, tiny lean to Tennessee.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm on Arkansas here. I just like the way they've looked so far this season, and there's no reason for me to hop off now. In a coin flip game, I like Arkansas.
Ron?
Yeah, I like Arkansas at home. I think they'll pull out a win here, Felipe, and take the 1 point. I take them on the money line.
Rod?
Yeah, I like Arkansas at home here. Give me Arkansas money line to beat Tennessee.
Tennessee, for me, it's a lean at best. I tried to get there on this game. I went back and forth on this thing. I tried to get there both ways, and I just couldn't get there. And I could see why the line is where it is because no one can figure this thing out. It's gone back and forth 1 and 2, and it's bounced all over. And I can see exactly why it is because I tried to handicap this thing, and I couldn't. I tried to make a case either way, and I ended up right at even. So I think maybe getting the point, Arkansas, but I don't know. I can't get there. Couldn't get there. Oh, Coastal Carolina taking on South Alabama, 17.5. They got the hook in here. Brian?
I love Coastal Carolina, but if it's 17.5, I got to go with South Alabama. Just too much money on Coastal Carolina. I just don't see them getting it done and covering. The books aren't giving away money, so I'll take the Jags.
Chris?
I was trying to wonder if I may be a little bit too late to jump off of Coastal, but until it stopped paying, I'm going to take Coastal Carolina here. I think they win this one by 3 touchdowns. Better performance than what they had against Georgia State.
Ron? Teal Turf.
Yeah. I'm going to take Coastal Carolina. I'm just going to ride the train until the wheels come off, so I'll take Coastal and lay the points.
Rod, don't adjust your set. The turf is teal.
It is teal.
It's teal. It's teal. Teal and gold. You just don't see that color combination too often. College football. Very fancy.
And you got to take Coastal Carolina here. Give me Coastal Carolina. And I know the world and everybody's on them, and South Alabama is not that good. I don't see them hanging at all. Give me Coastal Carolina.
I like the over. I've seen some high scores in the Coastal games. I could see this one happening too. We got OSU against Oregon State OSU. -3 and a total line flip-flop against Washington State. Wazoo versus Oregon State. We got Cougars and Beavers, Brian.
Oh, I like Beavers. I like Beaver, but in this game, there's just too much on Oregon State. I can't back Washington State, so I'm going to look at the total. And for me, I think it goes over the 63.5. I think we see a ton of scoring, so I'll back the over.
Chris?
Cougars and Beavers sounds like a good Saturday night. I'll take Oregon State.
Busted. Woohoo! Tried to be all cool. Got totally busted.
She all of a sudden she picked up a lamp and might throw it across the room.
It was like the look of horror. It's like I thought it was good. It's like that's
a knife has now come out of the kitchen. Okay,
we'll file that one under bits with it. Comedy's all about timing.
No, it's not the time. No.
I love you. Yeah, dig up, stupid. Yeah, I'm gonna take Oregon State here. This line's flipped for a reason. I think Washington State's defense is brutal, so give me Oregon State.
Ron?
Yep, I agree. I'm gonna take Oregon State. I think they get the job done at home. I do think I would lean to the over as well, but I'll take Oregon State.
Rod?
Give me the over. There's only into Washington. Everybody's on Oregon. Somebody wants some Beaver on Saturday, I guess, eh? I can understand why. You look at the thing. Washington State's got a lot of turnover and stuff, but give me the Cougars. Never mind. Give me the Cougars on the money line. I'm going to take Washington money line.
Oh, I have to not have to change the tape. I had already put it in.
Sorry.
It's all right. I'll take Oregon State, man. I just think that they're the better team. I could see where Rod is. You know, I could get there with Washington State. Not a premium pick for me, you know, on this one. Nick Rolovich is a great coach. It's just I don't know if, you know, he's had enough. Well, you know, it's his first game with them. So it's like I saw what he did at Hawaii, and I saw what he did with teams that had rough starts to the season at Hawaii, you know, as well. And he is a good coach, and he is way worth this Washington State job. And I could see him being another. So Washington State coaches in the past, right? Let's look at the Washington State coaches. And I know we only got a second here before kickoff, but I just want to say this. When you look at Washington State coaches of the past, Dennis Erickson ended up with the Miami job. Mike Price got the Alabama job. You know, he never coached at Alabama. That's the whole Hooker scandal, right? And then you had, you know, Mike Leach went to the SEC also at Mississippi State. I think Rolovich is in line. I think he's one of these guys that could leave Washington State for a really, really big job someday. Anyways, we got one last game. Speaking of Hawaii, the Bows, their first home game of the season. It is about 6 million degrees right now in Hawaii. 14-point favorites against New Mexico coming in from the altitude. Brian, Lobos are.
I had Hawaii written down as when they were -15.5 as a premium, but I backed off of them yesterday. Now I see it's at 14. Late money coming in New Mexico. I'm going to go with the Lobos here, plus the 14.
Chris?
I'm going to go on the over. I think this is a high-scoring game. I'll take the over in this one.
Ron?
Yeah, I love the over here. Both teams don't usually play defense, especially in New Mexico. A high-scoring game here.
Rod?
Give me Hawaii. Give me the Rainbows to bounce back after their loss. Back at home. Take the win.
I'm not as brave as Romanelli rooting against the home team. I'm going to go with Hawaii. I know better. I'm going to take the Bows. You know, just because they're the home team, and it's a tough travel to Hawaii for a team like New Mexico. It's a tough road trip. So I'm going to go with Hawaii as well. Well, that wraps up today's show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. It's kickoff, so I know everyone's taking off at this time anyway. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. And, of course, tell your friends, neighbors, and everything. Have a great day, everyone. We'll try and act more professional tomorrow. I might come back in like an hour or so and just talk about nothing. Have a great day.